Stews are a huge part of every household because they're super versatile. That means that you can serve the stews with any side dish. So today we're going to be making goat rib stew, which is going to turn out amazing, and it's going to be very tender, flavorful, and just so good. Also, we're going to be making some mukimo and steamed cabbage, which is going to turn out perfect. Because mukimo takes a while to cook, we are going to start off by making our mukimo. So you'll peel and chop 1.5 kg of potatoes, wash and chop into medium sizes. Over medium flame, you're going to place a huge pot, add in cold water. Always boil your potatoes in cold water because the potatoes will cook evenly. Transfer the potatoes in the water and make sure all the potatoes are fully submerged. Then I'm going to be adding in parboiled maize. I always keep or freeze parboiled maize because it makes it very easy for me to cook mukimo. So this is just a very simple hack for you. Boil your maize, keep it in the freezer, and whenever you are cooking a recipe that needs maize, you just defrost straight and add into your cooking pot. So I'm going to add in some maize so that the maize can cook together or boil together with the potatoes. And lastly, I'm going to be adding in some fresh pumpkin leaves. So to prep up your pumpkin leaves, you're going to make sure the leaves are clean. Then you're going to hold the top part of your pumpkin leaves and remove the fiber. This is going to make it very easy for you to cook your pumpkin leaves with no fiber. When done, you're going to hold the pumpkin leaves in a bunch just like this. Don't remove the stalk because it's part of the pumpkin leaves. So the leaves we are going to be blending once ready. So I'm just going to place the leaves on top like this. Add in salt. Season my mukimo. So I'll be adding in a tablespoon and a half because the potatoes are quite a lot. Cover. The cooking time for your potato will vary depending on the size of the potatoes that you have chopped. So mine is going to take around 6 to 7 minutes because they are medium sized and everything is going to cook perfectly. So I'm going to pick a pan, place over medium high flame, add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Wait for around 30 seconds so that the oil can get hot. And I've prepped up some fresh ingredients. I have garlic, onion, tomatoes, which are grated. I have coriander and a few spices, that is paprika, black pepper, and a few seasoning cubes. And of course, we are going to be cooking a kg of goat ribs. So the recipe is going to be that simple. Also, I'm going to be adding in some soy sauce. So when your cooking oil is ready, you're going to add in onions. Saute your onions for around 30 seconds to 1 minute until they have a nice golden brown color. Just when the onions are getting that lovely color, I'm going to add in my goat ribs. Using a spatula, I'm going to stir in the goat ribs. Add in some garlic, which is going to add in lots of flavor to the goat ribs. My blended tomatoes. Add in 2 seasoning cubes. Black pepper, paprika, a little bit of salt, tomato paste, and a little bit of dark soy sauce. Using my spatula, I'm going to stir in everything. add in half a cup of water so that the ribs don't burn. Cook your goat ribs for around 10 to 15 minutes or until tender, and in between you're going to stir so that the goat ribs cook evenly, and check the seasoning also because you want the goat ribs to turn out perfect. So next we're going to be making some sauteed cabbage, and I've chopped up or shredded half a cabbage. I have a seasoning cube, carrot, a little bit of coriander, onions, and salt to fully season the cabbage. So it's going to take around 10 minutes to prepare. So I'll wait for around 10 minutes so that everything can cook, then we can make our sauteed cabbage. We are going to be blending our pumpkin leaves. So over here I have a processor which I'm going to be blending the pumpkin leaves into a puree so that we can mash up our mukimo. The pot has come to a boil. Let me check. That means that in a matter of around 6 to 5 minutes my potatoes will be ready, and I'll be ready to mash my mukimo. After 10 minutes, this is how my goat ribs are looking, and everything is cooking perfectly. Check on my mukimo. And the potatoes are ready. If you notice that the potatoes are crumbling on the edges, your potatoes are well cooked. So you're going to put out the flames. And then I'm going to pick my mini processor, place in the pumpkin leaves, be very careful because everything is very hot, just like that. Drain off the water from your potatoes because you don't want the potatoes to overcook. Uncover my potatoes so that the excess moisture can escape. Then I'm going to pick a small pan and add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. We are making or adding in some very nice flavor to our mukimo. So you'll need a bunch of green onions which you're going to saute. So I'll add into my pan. Add in 2 seasoning cubes. Also check on your goat ribs because you don't want anything to burn. So I'm going to stir a little bit. Stir in the green onions and cook for around 30 seconds to 1 minute until the onions are cooked and very flavorful. Meanwhile, I'm going to be blending up my pumpkin leaves so that we can mash our mukimo. Nice. The pumpkin puree is ready. And my green onions are also ready. So I'm going to put out the flames, place on another burner. Then I'm going to pick another pan for my sauteed cabbage. Add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Today we are multitasking and making some delicious lunch. When the cooking oil is ready, you're going to add in 1 medium onion that is roughly chopped up. Saute for around a minute. You don't want the onions to brown for your steamed cabbage because it won't be looking so good. So now it's time to mash my potatoes. So using a silicone spatula, or if you don't have a potato masher, you can use a bottle or a cup. I'm going to mash. You're going to add in 2 seasoning cubes, which I absolutely love adding to my sauteed cabbage because it adds in lots of flavor. Stir for around 10 seconds. Add in your cabbage and carrots. Stir as the cabbage cooks, and a very good trick when cooking cabbage, don't cover when cooking because the cabbage is going to cook instead of steaming. Hence, you'll have a very watery cabbage or soupy cabbage. The cabbage is going to take around 1 to 3 minutes to steam. So the cabbage will soften up a little bit together with the carrots and it won't be overcooked. Check the seasoning. If it's not perfect, you're going to be adding in some more salt to fully season your steamed cabbage. Immediately you add in the cabbage in the pan, it's going to wilt down and soften up. Check on my ribs. Today we are multitasking. I'm everywhere. But I'm super excited because everything is going to turn out delish. The ribs are nicely cooking. Add in some more salt. And the soup or the gravy has thickened up. So the goat ribs are just looking so good. I'm even salivating. Check on my cabbage. It's been around 2 minutes and it has softened up. Gorgeous. Just look at that cabbage. So good. So I'm going to put out the flames. My cabbage is ready after 3 minutes and it's not overcooked. So the cabbage is ready. The goat ribs are ready also. I just have to mash my mukimo. You need a lot of muscle when mashing the mukimo, but because the potatoes are well cooked, it's going to be very easy. As I'm mashing, I'm going to add in my green onions together with my pureed pumpkin leaves. Mash everything together. The kitchen is smelling so good because of the goat ribs and the mukimo, especially the green onions that we added in some seasoning cubes. Yum. If you notice that your mukimo is very dry, you can add in a little bit of warm water so that you can get the perfect consistency. You can pick a spatula and finish off mashing the mukimo. My lunch is ready and it's looking so good and appetizing. I'm even salivating. I can't wait to dig in. Everything has turned out perfect. The goat ribs are tender, flavorful, and so good. The mukimo is well seasoned because we added in some green onions, which were very flavorful because we added in seasoning cubes. The steamed cabbage is perfect. I love my steamed cabbage a little bit crunchy. That means that this is going to be this is going to be so delicious. So I hope you'll be giving these recipes a try and everyone is going to enjoy the lunch or dinner.